let's just break it down. Let's just break it down into something simple. Meta means beyond, right? And verse was taken from the word universe. So it means beyond our physical universe. So how exactly does that, how does that work? Well, it works with the help of AR and VR and Web 3.0. Okay, so AR is augmented reality. Now, if you use Snapchat or you use Instagram stories and you put all those emojis on your conversation or on your pictures, on your videos, you're already a master of augmented reality, because augmented reality basically just requires your phone, your smartphone, and that's it. It's very efficient. Now, the other part that makes up this metaverse concept is virtual reality. And that is like a little bit more complicated and a lot less inefficient, but it also works. Okay, so what that does is it actually is about projecting somebody's imagination that has been, created into a physical reality, So how much, before we go on, how much will this metaverse be worth really? According to some guy called Matthew Ball that invests in this space, he said it's going to be worth over $30 trillion in the next 10 years. Now, if that does not get your attention, maybe you're not supposed to be in the metaverse, because that is huge. That is very, very huge. In my own opinion, if the metaverse succeeds, it's going to be bigger than crypto, just like the global economy is bigger than, stocks, forex, crypto markets all combined. And that is where the metaverse is going. That is where we should be positioning ourselves to, go along with it as well. So, like I said, augmented reality, Snapchat, all those emojis you put on Snapchat, and you only need a smartphone. Virtual reality, on the other hand, includes sensors, haptic suits, eyewear, control pads. It's a lot more expensive and it's inefficient, but it gives you an amazing experience. Okay, so what's an haptic suit? If you've ever been a gamer and you've been playing, Mortal Kombat and all those games, Tekken, all those moves in Tekken especially were actually done by human beings. And what they were wearing were haptic suits. And those haptic suits and the sensors were transmitted to computers, and they created images, and then they now did graphics to make them look human. So also with the metaverse, you're going to be wearing a lot of eyewear. It's going to go from Oculus, which is very bogus and huge. It will move to glasses, and then it will go to contact lenses, and then you'll be holding some control pads, because it's actually gamification that they're using, to make this happen. All right, so let's just quickly talk a little bit more about augmented reality. In football, when they're doing post-match analysis and the analysts are like drawing on the screen and they're moving one player forward and moving him backward, that is augmented reality. In home design, there's a store in Sweden called IKEA. And IKEA, they will let you they have an app, and you put on an eyewear, and you can actually see how your furniture will fit into your house before you buy it, Now, in surgery as well, neurosurgeons, they can use augmented reality to make a 3-dimensional brain, and they can use that, to experiment while they're doing surgeries, so that they know exactly what will happen if they touch another part and things like that. In history as well, if you watch History Channel, when they project, how the Roman Empire, how a palace or something looks before the destruction of that place, that is augmented reality, So I believe that everybody has gotten a good grasp of augmented reality. So what's the metaverse in a nutshell? It's just a digital world where anything we can imagine will exist. The plan is for us to live there 24/7, 365. And with the way technology is advancing, it will get to a point where you'll be able to go to a store on the metaverse, you'll be able to smell a perfume, you'll be able to touch a product you want to buy and feel it, even though it is all virtual. So they're trying to blend physical items digital items into the physical world. The idea is to create an experience in an immersive 3D environment. And lately, one of my friends in the US, he's a martial artist, and he said that the way they train now is they actually fight. They wear these suits and they fight, but you actually feel the impact of the punch of the computer opponent you're fighting. And that's the effect of all these sensors that they put on it. So it's going to be, it will be as close to living on the earth as possible, you know. So a combination of all these technologies is what is known as extended reality, you know. So let me just give you quickly a timeline of the metaverse and what they're planning. By 2025, they want an expansive metaverse. They want different worlds, and everything that's going to be created in the metaverse will be an NFT. So NFTs will be massive. NFTs, mark my words, have a tendency to be greater than cryptos, as in cryptocurrencies, because it will get to a point where the only thing that will not be an NFT in a crypto metaverse, in a metaverse rather, will be cryptocurrency. So for instance, if you take Decentraland, it will only be mana that we use to do transactions that will not be NFT. Everything else, the clothes you wear, the houses you live, the animals there, everything else will be an NFT, you know. So by 2030, they want to have a very detailed NFT setting because of the introduction of 6G. It will be able to, you know, perfect the graphics. It will be able to make it look more human and more lifelike. By 2035, the plan is that VR gadgets will go mainstream. So it will not be a luxury. Right now, VR gadgets are luxuries. Haptic suits, I mean, there was a guy that I met online, and he wanted me to create content for his haptic suit. And I was asking him how much one costs. And he said it's like $12,000 for the cheapest haptic suit, you know. But as time goes on, technology, that's the nature of technology, comes in very expensive, and then it becomes cheaper as time goes on. So it's going to move from headsets and Oculus, all those big gears, to glasses, to contact lenses. By 2050, the plan is for the metaverse to be photorealistic, meaning that it will be like you are living in the physical realm 100%, and they want us to spend about 50% of our time there. By 2100, by 2100, they want us to upload our consciousness into the metaverse. It is going to be that powerful. And what that means also is that, a lot of things that are diabolic will go on. Okay, so, but don't just believe what I'm saying. I'm going to show you with facts and figures. But before we go on, what do you anticipate from the metaverse? Number one, creators will dominate the metaverse. If you're not a creative person, if your job is such that some AI can replace you, you need to be creative. You need to be able to make something unique. Okay, there'll be employment there as well. Of course, you'll be wearing your Oculus. You have to buy clothes because you'll be sitting in your house, but you'll be working in the metaverse. So you need to buy corporate. If you have a corporate meeting, you need to buy corporate clothes. If you have what's it called now? If you have engagements with people, you need to dress for the situation. Real estate is going to be huge. I was doing a Zoom call earlier today for some guy, and we went to, and I'm going to take you guys there in this session, hopefully. We went to some of these places where they sell land on the metaverse, and we saw one for 1 million Ethereum. You know, somebody had bought it and had listed it for 1 million Ethereum. The cheapest land we saw on that platform was 3.2 Ethereum. That's about $14,800 and something dollars. You know, so, but real estate on the metaverse will be a little bit different. You know, in Nigeria at the moment, you can buy land and hold it. You know, you can just fence it and not really do much. Bam. And then it will appreciate in value. But on the metaverse, is going to be a little bit different because lands are more scarce than they are on the earth. And so what that means is that if your land is barren, you not create so much value. It will be of little value, you know. And also where you position your land, you know, in real estate, they say location, location, location. Where your land is positioned is going to be very, very, very strategic. It's going to be a determinant of who makes money from land in the metaverse and who doesn't. So what you need to do is build a business on the metaverse and create attractions so that you can get attention of people that are like in the form of avatars. You need traffic. Just like in the real life, in our real life situation, if you run an e-commerce store, you need traffic to your store. The more traffic you have in your store, the higher your chances of being successful. That's the way it's going to be in the metaverse as well. Shopping. I've talked about, you know, shopping experiences where you can actually take something and feel it, even though it's not real, in quotes. You can take it and feel it before you throw money at it to buy. Also, the metaverse is not one singular place at the moment. You know, just like there's Ethereum blockchain, there's, you know, Cardano, there's the Binance Smart Chain, and you need bridges, you know, to do transactions across board. That's the way the metaverse is at the moment. There are different worlds. There are metaverses on Binance Smart Chain, there are metaverses on Ethereum, there are metaverses on other blockchains as well. But at the end of the day, there are already companies working on interoperability. What that just basically means is you can do something on Solana and you go and check it out on another blockchain. So they want to make sure that you can integrate all of those blockchains together. There are organizations already, the companies already working at that, and in the nearest future, it's going to be, very possible. Also, in these metaverses, it is the one that can generate the most user content. UGC means user generated content. It's the metaverse that has the biggest user generated content and the most traffic that will win. So in your investing in metaverses, you need to consider traffic a lot, and you need to consider the content that's being generated. All right. There'll be a lot of gaming, gambling, sports, etc. is going to go on the metaverse. There'll be relationship, there'll be sex, there'll be marriages, there'll be divorces, and they will be valid on the metaverse. Or also, real life issues that we're having right now will occur in the metaverse. There'll be housing crisis because by the land on the metaverse is very limited, and a lot of people are buying it in bulk, right? So what's going to happen is, if you can't afford to pay rent for where you want to stay on the metaverse, well, there'll be housing crisis, there'll be inflation as well, because people want to profiteer. And also, you require builders to help you build your house. So you bought a plot of land, you can't just put anything there. You need to get builders that would help you construct something decent, design your home and everything. So if you're an architect, you can look into how you can take advantage of that. So what exactly, this metaverse concept, is it new? It is not new at all. In fact, I got into this thing around 2007, and I'll show you guys. It's not new at all. It's a concept that started in 1992 by a guy called Neil Stephenson. There's a book I'm going to recommend to people to read. It's called Snow Crash. And if you can get the audio version as well, go and listen to it. A lot of the things that guy said in 1992, it's almost as if it's prophetic. A lot of the things he said in his book in 1992 have started happening. And there's some things he said that have not yet happened yet, because there was a guy there on the metaverse that they sent a virus to, and he became insane in real life. So expect crazy things like that in the nearest future. Neil Stephenson is a guy that he's worked with Bill Gates before. He's worked with Jeff Bezos. He's worked with a lot of these guys in the past, So he's an authority in that field. I recommend that you get Snow Crash and read it. Okay, so like I said, there's no one singular metaverse yet. A lot of metaverses are coming up, and 80% of them will fail. It's just Pareto principle. It's a law of life. If you look at the top 50 cryptos in 2015, go and check it out on CoinMarketCap. Only 9 of them are still in existence today, of the top 50 cryptos in 2015. And if you look at that percentage, you see it's around 20%. This 80-20 rule is just a part of our lives. Now, something else you need to realize about the metaverse is there are 2 versions. There's a cold war going on in the metaverse right now, but a lot of people are not aware yet. There's a centralized metaverse and there's the decentralized metaverse. If you look at Decentraland, that name alone will tell you that it was coined from decentralized land, right? But the meta that Facebook wants to do is centralized. If you look at it critically, you realize that Facebook changed their name from Facebook to Meta. Now, what is it about Facebook? I've been advertising on Facebook since 2010. What they do basically is, we are the product. If you're on Facebook, you are the product they're selling. Because Facebook knows your name, they know your address, they know your email address, they know your phone number. You create content on Facebook, they can basically identify you, and they can track your IP address, so they know what part of the world you're at. And then they now sell your data to advertisers that sell you products. That's the way it works on Facebook. So where you actually pitch your tent in the metaverse will determine whether you'll be rich or poor. If you go with these centralized guys, I can tell you that they will keep selling to you until you retire. So if you're going to choose any side at all, go with the decentralized metaverse where you are in control. Remember, this whole crypto thing is about decentralization, being governed by smart contracts and decentralized autonomous organizations, not by any individual, not by any corporate organization and stuff like that. In fact, if you read that Snow Crash book, I really strongly recommend that everybody should read that book. It got to a point where some parts of America Los Angeles in particular, it was owned by corporations. They had to break it away from America, and it became a country of its own, owned by corporations. That is how powerful these corporations want to be. And it's not just Facebook. It's not just Facebook. It's also Microsoft. They're building what they call an enterprise metaverse. That one is going to be targeting corporate organizations. So look at the graph here. This is courtesy in the blog. That's a website, in the blog.com. This is what happens on a centralized platform. They attract you. So this is not just, I'm not attacking just Facebook alone. I'm talking about all the social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of them, TikTok. They attract you with freebies. Sign up for free, do this for free, do that for free. As time goes on, they start to extract from you. They sell you stuff, advertising all the time. That's their model. If you look at the decentralized one, let's cooperate. It starts with cooperation. Let's build something together. Nobody's going to be oga over anybody, and then along the line, they start to compete, so there's going to be a lot of creativity in this space. And like I said, developers, creators, and businesses will dominate in this space. So you have to start positioning yourself to be one of those three people. All right, so I've just talked about this. Now, data security is another issue. I mean, during the last elections, we know how what's the name of this group again? That they hacked them and they got data that was from Facebook. I've forgotten their name. But what I'm just trying to say is, if you are on the blockchain, so far nobody, there have been forks here and there on the blockchain, but security on the blockchain is almost 100%. On the metaverse that like Facebook and all these other guys are trying to do, anybody can hack into it. They're based on Web 2.0. They're not really they're not decentralized in any way, shape, or form. So companies that are, another thing is, if you run an organization or a business on the Meta that belongs to Facebook, ultimately it will get to a point where your apps will be competing with their own. And trust me, they will kick you out. I'll give a live example. There's this guy that he used to sell on Amazon, so he started selling camera stands, and in a short while he had made $3.4 million. Guess what Amazon did? They kicked him out and they took over his business. They shut down his store. You can check it online. They shut down his store totally, and then they started selling the same thing and they branded it. That's because he didn't own the platform. On a decentralized metaverse, you own the platform. You own your land until you sell it. And if you, God forbid, if you die, you can pass it on to your children, because all that information is stored on the blockchain and is immutable. Nobody can just come and change it. So there won't be any case of Omonile on the metaverse. All right, so let's talk quickly about Vitalik Buterin. He's the guy that did Ethereum. This guy used to be in the early 2000s. He used to be a crazy player of World of Warcraft. Is a game that was before Bitcoin exploded. He shared that he had an experience that changed all of his life. There's this guy called Blizzard. Blizzard is a bad guy in that game, and then he removed the damage component of his beloved Warlock's Siphon life spell. It took something from him that he had worked so hard to get in the game. He just took it like that. He said he cried himself to sleep on that day, and that was when he realized the horrors of centralized services and what they can bring. That's Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, the co-creator of Ethereum. So this led him to like create a decentralized network where nobody is really in control except smart contracts. And what basically is a smart contract? It's just a line of code that if you and I agree, if we have an agreement, we can get a developer to code our agreement and put it on a smart contract, and that smart contract will always execute our agreements. So there's no sentiment, there's no me, I'm not doing again, there's nothing. The smart contract will keep executing the basis of our agreement, So that's what NFTs, that's what drives NFTs, that's what helps in this crypto space, So there's something called surveillance capitalism. Surveillance capitalism just means that all these platforms sell your data to NSA in America and to CIA, and this is Julian Assange, is the guy that founded WikiLeaks, and is the guy that, was leaking all these secrets that were classified. They're still looking for him. He's been hiding up and down. He said, if you are not paying for the product, you are the product. This economic model of creating attractive bait for people to put their data, Facebook, Gmail, Android, Twitter, is referred to by academics as surveillance capitalism, now turbocharged by the rise of AI. What this basically means is that artificial intelligence now has almost all of our data, and they can use it to do anything. They can shut your life down because they have a lot of your data. I mean, you put your password on Facebook. Who knows whether they know your password? I don't know, you know. But this is the kind of risk that we take when we don't pay for something and we get it for free. You know, there's not like a free lunch in a world of enterprise. All right. So what are the ingredients of the metaverse? There's ubiquitous networking. That means that you can network with anybody. There'll be cryptocurrencies. There'll be blockchain networks like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, not the token, not the cryptos, but the blockchains. And then there'll be extended reality and non-fungible tokens. Like I said, non-fungible tokens will drive everything on the metaverse. Everything that we pay for, non-fungible tokens will drive it. Okay, so Web 3.0 is more like decentralized internet where nobody has control. You know, there'll be open standards for, you know, the kind of images and text you can post, and there will be interoperability of 3D applications. What that basically just means is that you don't have to worry whether your blockchain is Ethereum and you want to do something on Binance Smart Chain or on Solana. All of those things would integrate shortly. There'll be programming languages because all of these things are powered by code. Every smart contract is a code, and it is HTML that builds the backbone of the internet, and JavaScript is what makes it work together. You know, so all these languages are very important. And then of course there's the blockchain itself, which is decentralized ledger and smart contracts as well. So everything on a decentralized metaverse will be transparent. It will be permissionless, meaning that you don't need anybody's permission. It will be trustless, meaning that you don't need any third party to broker a deal for you with a stranger that you're dealing with, because a smart contract ensures that nobody cheats everybody. And then it will be censorship resistance. That means that nobody can come and tell you that you shouldn't do anything, you know? All right, so why the metaverse needs cryptos? Digital items are already more than a $10 billion market. There's a game called Fortnite created by Epic Games, and only on Fortnite alone, they have sold up to $1 billion worth of assets. So you're playing a game and maybe you require a digger, and along the line, you've picked up some gold. You can use part of your gold to buy a digger that you use to move to the next level of the game, that kind of thing. Now, the problem with Fortnite is it's a centralized platform. It's owned by Epic Games. Now, if Epic Games decide to shut down Fortnite, then all of those things would be worthless. Remember the Vitalik Buterin story where Blizzard took one of his damaged assets and then he cried overnight. That's the exact thing that will happen on a centralized platform. So it's a $1 billion market that has the tendency to vanish into the air. Corporate executives might be very roguish and run down a business, and then all of your assets are gone. All right. So what is happening now is on a blockchain, that kind of thing will not happen, you know, because it will always be there. So what's the future of the metaverse going to be like? First of all, it is not a universally interoperable metaverse at the moment, but there are different platforms and they're competing for users. So there's Decentraland, there's Selenium, there's Sandbox. But before all of this, ladies and gentlemen, there was something called Second Life. So let me just quickly share my screen and show you about Second Life. Just a minute. Now, Second Life started in 2003, you know, and I remember that I registered. I mean, this is my email account, and look at this. This is 2007. I mean, look at the date. January 26, 2007. I signed up on Second Life. Now, the graphics on Second Life right now is mad. There is no metaverse that has this kind of depth graphics. None at the moment. I checked Selenium Space, and the graphics I saw there reminded me of what I saw in 2007 when Second Life was just starting. But Second Life, and at the moment, Second Life pays creators over $600 million every year. You know, but Second Life is not exactly a metaverse. They're evolving now into being a metaverse that will be powered by, decentralization and all of that. But they're not exactly a metaverse yet. I mean, look at this fine babe modeling. I mean, this looks very realistic, but in the next 5 years, you can just imagine what will happen. Now let's look at this other one called Selenium Space. I mean, look at the kind of graphics that's there. This was what Second Life had in 2007, and this is a metaverse. So you can imagine how far these guys still have to go, But look at the guys that are also like, maybe Forbes won't invest in them, Cointelegraph, but these are the guys that are pushing out their content, and it's based on Ethereum. But that's just to let you know that metaverses get level. Some of them are more developed than the others, and of course, the assets on the more developed ones will be more valuable than the assets on this kind of Selenium space. Okay, so you can sign up with Second Life. It's free, it's easy, and you can go ahead and do stuff there. So let's just quickly check some of the assets on OpenSea. Now, Sandbox.game is another metaverse platform. And if you look at this, Snoop Dogg is not really technically sound in NFTs and the metaverse, but he's one of the biggest players on that space because he's putting more than $17 million of his money into NFTs. So what Snoop Dogg is doing is entering into the Sandbox.game metaverse. Now, before this, he had done an NFT project of his own that really bombed because they didn't get it right. But he's partnering now with these guys with their expertise and is going into that space. So they're saying get your early pass, etc, etc. Now, how do you get your early pass? You come in here. Before you come in here, you need to have signed in and you need to have, connected your wallet. So to sign in is just come here and create your account. So if you click get your early pass, what's going to happen is it's going to take you to OpenSea. Okay, so no, this part is still on. No, it's when you want to buy the land, it will take you to OpenSea. But look at what's happening here. You're going to buy this NFT, and at the moment, 5,000 have been minted. Just a little over 1,000 have been sold. There are 388 owners. Now, if you're interested in this, you can come and click here and click buy now, and you will use some some sand rather to buy this, about 525 sand. But you can also come here, and buy NFTs on sand. You get, if you come here and you click it, you see different NFTs that have been listed for sale. Now, I don't like this kind of NFTs because it's 1 of 100. Even the tickets that Snoop is selling, but it's a ticket, so of course you expect a lot of it. But I prefer to buy NFTs that are one-on-one. We'll get to that later if there is time. But I mean, look at where all of these have been featured. Atari, Smurfs, Binance, all of these are linked to Sandbox. So, I mean, this will give you an idea that this is a platform you want to invest in. Now, if you want to invest in NFTs, don't just buy the token. If you want to invest in the metaverse, rather, don't just buy the token of that metaverse like Sandbox. Buy Sand, that's the token. Buy these NFTs. There are companies that are, that are powering these things. So buy their stock as well. So you are completely involved in the ecosystem. So it's not just that you're buying just, the crypto or you're buying just the NFT. Try to be completely involved in that and then join. All of these guys have communities. Join this community so that you can know what's going on. But what I want to show you here is this. If I click this one and I click lands, I can't buy land here. Even though there's a link that used to, there was a time I came here and I could buy land from here. So it says clear filters, no results. I can't buy land from here anymore. So if you want to buy land on Sandbox, you will come to map. Okay. When you come to map, you will see this stuff. Now look at this, for instance. All of this place has been bought by Snoop Dogg. So if you want to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor, there's still some free land around. But what is Snoop Dogg's plan? And this is why I'm saying to you that the people that will dominate this space are creators and Snoop Dogg is a rapper and he used rap as his foundation to build an empire. But what he's doing right now is this. He has $17 million plus worth of NFTs. So he's building a gallery. He's building an art gallery here. Everybody that knows Snoop knows that this is the caricature of Snoop. He's building this gallery here and he's going to be putting his NFTs. What do you think? Why do you think he's doing that? So that when you and I become members of Sandbox Metaverse, we want to associate with Snoop. So we'll come to his gallery, we'll pay money to go and look at his NFTs. Nothing is stopping anybody that's listening to this from doing something similar. You may not have the money of Snoop, but you can plan towards it. They're big boys on the forum. You guys should look at buying land on these places. Now, of course, this kind of land will be extremely cheap. Sorry, what am I saying? Be extremely expensive, because it's going to be near Snoop and stuff like that. But if you come here and you click buy land, it's going to take you to OpenSea. This was what I was trying to say the other time. It's going to take you to OpenSea. And of course, before you can buy on OpenSea, you need to have opened an account with OpenSea. You need to have connected your wallet. You need to have funded your wallet, because if you want to buy now, it will tell you that your wallet needs money. So look at how much they're selling land here. 25 Ethereum. Ethereum is about 4,000 plus, 4,300-ish. The last time I checked it, I've not checked in like 3-4 days, but last time I checked, it was around 4,300. So let's just round it up to $4,000 times 25 Ethereum. That's the value of this land. And look at the coordinates. These are the coordinates here. But what I want you to notice is this. This is a Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Is one of the things that were given to people that bought the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'll get to that in a bit. But what this just tells me is that Bored Ape Yacht Club have bought land here. Atari, if you used to be a gamer in the 80s, Atari was the biggest boy before Nintendo came and kicked them out. Atari has bought a lot of land here. What this means is this: there will be traffic here, because there will be people in the 80s that are sentimental about Ethereum that will have some things to do on the metaverse. So this will automatically attract them, either to go and get some memories of the past or to go and look at what Atari is doing in the future. So if you buy property around this axis, you know that you're making some smart moves. Look at this place, it says for sale, and it's very close to Atari. So you can actually buy this, but it's actually 20 Ethereum. So you have to be strategic in your decision making. Don't just go and buy land anywhere. Don't just go and buy land anywhere. Be strategic. Buy land in where you know it will appreciate. Even if you have to cough out 20 Ethereum, I'm telling you, in the next 1 year, it's going to be worth maybe 10x. But don't take my word for it. Let me sort this by price. So let's go from high to low and see how much people are selling land that they bought on Sandbox.game. This is 1 million. Roughly it's just one Ethereum that's left to make this 1 million. So somebody has bought this. People have bought all these places that you're seeing one kind of logo or the other. They've all been bought. This one that is for sale now. This one too is on sale on OpenSea. Look at it, almost 1 million as well. 50,000 Ethereum, 18,000 Ethereum. All of these things have been bought. In fact, as far as Decentraland is concerned, all of the land on Decentraland, almost everything has been bought as far back as 2017, 2018. So if you're buying those ones now, just know that you're buying from the secondary market. You're buying from a previous owner, But it's still, this is the future. You still need to get into this. But don't let their marketing and the content they put out shape your decision. You need to get enough information to make quality decisions. What do I mean by that? Sandbox.game is just another metaverse. We've seen Solenium, we've seen Decentraland. There's some metaverses on Binance Smart Chain. I'll show you one before we round this up. So don't always be under pressure to come and buy. Let me just rush to come and buy. Shop around, be in control of your emotions and shop around, and then find out the one that will be most worth your while and the one that will bring the biggest return on investment. Okay, so if you look at it, as I'm coming down, it's becoming cheaper. So this is 1,500 Ethereum. This one was 3,500 Ethereum. But the closer you are to a corporate organization or a business, a big business, a global business, the better it is for you. Why? Because you will not worry about traffic. Remember, I was talking earlier about avatar traffic. You need eyeballs. Whatever it is you are doing on your plot of land, you need eyeballs there so that you can commercialize the traffic. If you are not where there is traffic, well, maybe you just want to be buying and selling land, you know. But know that just like people buy land in Lekki and then they develop it and turn it into a nightclub, all those kind of things are going to happen on this space, on the metaverse, you know. And you know, so let me just quickly leave this place and go back to my slides. All right, so where am I? All right. So apart from the metaverse, there will be multiverses. What is a multiverse? A multiverse is just a collection of metaverses, you know. So by the time they start to interoperate so that you can move from one blockchain to another, from one metaverse to another, there'll be multiverses, you know. All of this will be fully integrable in the nearest future. And then, of course, there will be the omniverse. The omniverse is not going to be like our planet on the Earth right now. Right now, I'm somewhere in the Southwest. Adelola is in America, but we're on the same planet Earth. You know, so by the time the omniverse comes up, everything would have been fully integrated. Like, look at what I said here. I can't explore the Decentraland world right now on Sandbox because they're two independent metaverses. I'm going to have to leave one to go to the other. And whatever gadget this one requires, I will need it to access it as well. And I can't also open a game made in Unity with Unreal Engine, you know. So for now, there isn't that interoperability yet, but we want our world to be truly open, explorable across different platforms, devices, and engines. So in the nearest future, it won't matter whether you're using Android or you're using Apple OS or you're using whatever, you're using the laptop, you're on this blockchain or that blockchain, everything will be fused together, you know, and people can then now sell their stuff. That's when this thing will really blow. Because at that time, the metaverse now becomes your oyster, where you can do whatever it is you want. Okay, so I mentioned some things earlier. So what's a smart contract? It's just some lines of code that executes our agreement. It is unchangeable. Once it is on the blockchain, it is unchangeable. It just keeps executing the terms of the contract. You know, smart contracts can do many things, including represent unique items called NFTs, right? So a blockchain is just like a ledger where every transaction is stored and is accessible to everybody. You don't need to, I mean, entry barrier is like zero. Anybody can access the information on the blockchain. It's just that you cannot claim it is yours, because just like you can access it for free, there's also free information about who the owners of these blockchains are. You know, it's a bit impossible. It's almost impossible to change or hack or cheat whatever has been stored on the blockchain. Each transaction is duplicated and transferred across entire networks of computers. And this is what will not happen on Meta or on enterprise, what's it called? Enterprise Metaverse that Microsoft is building, because it is already centralized. Those guys have a lot of money and they can afford to centralize it. So, but on a typical blockchain, on Ethereum, on Solana, on all these, you know, decentralized blockchains, you can actually see everybody. I mean, I was doing something on Cardano and I needed to download a wallet called Daedalus. And Daedalus it took 3 days. I just had to abandon it. Daedalus was downloading the whole of Cardano blockchain. The whole, it was downloading everything on my system. And that thing took almost 3 days. And it still, I just had to abandon it. But that's what happens. Everybody will get a copy of all the transactions if you're on a decentralized blockchain. Okay, so NFTs. We're going to get into NFTs. Adelola.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Is this a 1-hour webinar?
Well, just this is more like an introduction, but this is more than an introduction. I mean, you've done justice to the subject matter. Okay. So
because we've not even gotten into NFTs yet, too.
You know what we'll do? Probably we should just take some questions, right? And then okay. Maybe I'm looking at Sunday night. Maybe we can have another class.
Okay.
And then guys, in fairness to Doku, I mean, the truth is, even cryptocurrency, we are still learning, right? Everybody's still learning. You know, the normal cryptocurrency and blockchain, Bitcoin and other cryptos, we are all still learning. You know, you can't learn everything in a day. That's the truth. And then for me, this whole metaverse thing is still looking like Arabic to me. To me as a so I'm still trying to catch up, you know. So, and then what I want to say is in fairness to Dokun is about to launch his course. It's about to launch a course, you know, and I think probably I'll leave him to quickly talk about his course. And then if you have a question, just probably you can raise your hand so you can address it. So Dokun, what I would say is that you just talk about your course, you know, and let the house know when it's going to launch. So that, because I'm, like I said, I'll be the first person to jump on that course, because most of the metaverse courses I'm seeing here in the States, you know, they didn't break it down like this, the way you broke it down. Because I've seen some on YouTube and I'm trying to get on one present. They really didn't break it down the way you are breaking it down. So I think I'll so quickly just talk about it. Let the house know, you know, what your course is going to entail.
Okay, so the course I'm creating. So why did I even go into creating courses? I used to create a lot of courses in the past, but I stopped. You know, but this one, I'm actually very passionate about NFTs because I strongly believe that's the future. Everything you do, even physical assets, houses, cars, you can actually tokenize them and make them NFTs. You know, so I'm a very meticulous person. If I want to get into something, I do a lot of research. And I just felt so comfortable with NFTs, and I own quite a number, you know. But about 3 weeks ago, one guy swapped my life. He
They
swapped me.
hack you.
They didn't hack me, but I was going to buy a project. There's this guy called Blue Boy. He's one of these celebs. He was doing a project, and I just felt that after everything I did, I found out that the project has a tendency to be successful. So I wanted to buy, and I had gone to where the links were. I had seen the links, I had written it down and everything. So one guy just sent me a message on Discord, you know, and before I knew it, it was the exact same link that I saw on the official platform, and I clicked it and I bought the stuff. Until date, they didn't send me my NFTs. That thing cost me almost $500 to $700 because I had to pay gas fees. Gas fees were like $300 that day.
Wow.
And I said to myself, me that I've been in this space for a while, and I'm still falling for this kind of trick. What will happen to someone that wants to now start and say, okay, let me just get into this space? I mean, and honestly, psychologically, I was battered because I just told myself, get back into that project, get back and buy something on the real platform. Because if I had left that with a $700 loss and I came back the following day, my psyche would have been disturbed. I'll just have been afraid of what else might happen again. So I quickly went back in and I bought the real thing. You know, so that one helps me to like overcome that psychological stuff. So that was when I said, maybe it's high time I just did something that would help people. But my course is not just about slides. You know, slides are, I mean, you can get all this information on the internet if you take your time to search for it. But what you're going to get in that course is you're going to see me buy stuff. I bought over $5,000 worth of NFTs in that course. And I'll be explaining exactly why I'm buying this, why I'm not getting into a project, why I'm not doing this. And amazingly, during that period, I fell for another scam. Now, this one was not a scam per se. It was just one guy that had stolen somebody's work, you know, and then he used that. He was now reselling it on OpenSea, and he had sold $14 million of that stuff.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, I missed the launch, so I bought on the secondary market, and I paid 0.192. I'll never forget that for that figure. 0.192 Ethereum was what I paid plus gas fees. So I went to bed early. I mean, I went to bed happy, and I was going to list my own for 1.5 Ethereum. So I was going to make some very good profit. I just woke up the next morning and I found out that the owner of the collection actually did a video the previous night explaining, you know, it's blockchain. You can't really claim what is yours is not yours, you know. And the guy did a video and explained exactly how his work was stolen, plus all the Etherscan links and everything. So everybody realized that this thing was stolen. And I was doing my video, and all of a sudden I was shaking because it was just like another loss. What is going on? You know, so in that video, my voice was really shaking. I was like, okay, so what's the thing? What's the next thing to do now? What's the
But
best thing to do now?
hold on,
Am I gonna...
in that case, like
Yeah,
the guy that stole the guy that stole somebody's collection and is reselling.
yeah,
You know, is there a way? You know, I know that there's a way exchanges do it now. For example, you know, the last act that happened on KuCoin, when somebody,
yeah,
you know, they asked KuCoin and they moved some significant amount of money, and KuCoin was able to get that money back. I think after
yeah,
about a month plus, because they were able to, you know, trace that transaction, you know, because it's on blockchain now.
yeah,
If you move Bitcoin, I can track you down to any
yeah,
all the addresses you are selling it to. So they were
yeah,
able to track down those accounts, and all the addresses they were sending it to, they were blocking them. You know, because they noticed that they more often than not, they want to transfer it to an exchange and
exchange,
convert
yeah,
it and withdraw. So
yes,
so as soon as they notice that they are moving to another address, they'll go and look at that exchange and they'll notify them that so amount has moved to this address. So they're able to get those money back. So you know, in this case, on the metaverse, when you stole somebody, when you steal somebody's work, is there a way, you know, since it's also a blockchain, it's also, you know, it's on Ethereum,
yeah,
that individual that his work was stolen, is there a way, you know, they can track it down and retrieve all those money from those people that, you know, because you know you have paid to the hacker or to the whoever that stole it, and you know,
yeah,
they were able to move that money back. I'm just, you know, just like the same thing that happened with KuCoin, you know,
yeah.
is there a way they can do that too on the metaverse?
Well, if it's on a decentralized platform, you know, it may be a bit challenging. You know, KuCoin is a SEX, is a centralized exchange.
Yeah.
So any account that money is entering, they can actually go and check the person's name, biodata, address, and everything.
Mm,
But in this particular one, what finally happened was after the guy had proven that his work was stolen, and before I go on, one guy, one guy, he bought one of those things and he sold it for 7 Ethereum. You know, that was before they found out that it was stolen. Just to let you
okay.
know how much money was there to be made in that project, because it was linked to a bigger project called the Board APH Club. Anyway, what they did was they've now delisted everything from OpenSea. I went there today to just check. They've delisted everything from OpenSea. So even the guy that bought that one that somebody sold to him for 7 Ethereum, all of that work is gone.
Mm,
So what the guy now did, what the original guy now did was he now what that had done for him was it had created clouds.
yeah.
Yeah, it had created marketing, everything for him.
Mm,
So when he
mm.
relaunched the original work, the thing was sold out in a few minutes.
Yeah. But
So people
okay,
actually buy, but
okay. What about the guy? The guy that's already the first guy the guy that stole that work. You know, the funds that he has collected, over $40 million. You know, because it's on a decentralized application or decentralized protocol. That means
yeah,
the money stays with him, right? Because you know they can't track him down, right?
yes, they can't track him down. But if the money eventually ends up on a centralized, like an exchange,
Right.
then they'll be able to identify who he is. But that kind of guy, I think he would just be using Ethereum and Uniswap to just,
Eh-heh.
move the money
That
out.
means you will not be able to, and then with that kind of transaction, because it's much, you know, except that that transaction, did it happen on Solana, or on which metaverse did it happen, that transaction?
It happened on Ethereum,
On
you
Ethereum.
know. Yeah,
Okay.
it happened on Ethereum. It was on OpenSea.
Okay, sorry, it was on OpenSea.
And you
Okay.
know the amazing thing about this thing? This guy shattered every record, even the established projects. Nobody did the kind of sales he did in the shortest possible time. He did in like 3 days, he had sold out everything. He had done 7.2K, Ethereum in trades. He just shattered all the records on OpenSea, but he was a thief. Now, how do
That's
you know that? How do you know that someone is a thief? Honestly, except you have the Spirit of God living inside you and telling you the truth, you will never know. So what I just did was to quickly mitigate my losses and just quickly sell it. So I sold it for 0.13 Ethereum and I got out of there. Now, when I went back a week later, the value of what I sold at 5x, the guy that bought it had listed it for 5 times about 0.65 Ethereum was what he was selling it for. So I felt bad again, but as of today, they had shut down the whole thing. Because when we do the next class and we talk about NFTs, you see, if you want to create generational wealth, just have a community and launch an NFT project. Because for everything you sell, you can code it on the smart contract and say that, and this one is very easy. If you launch a project on OpenSea, you can determine how much royalty. So it's not as if you have to like go and pay a coder to go and write code for you. So you can just determine how much royalty you want to be collecting. So on that project that guy had already sold 14 million, he was going to be taking another 2.5% royalty as long as people are selling it. So me that I sold my own for 0.13 and another guy that wanted to sell it for 0.1, 0.65, he will be collecting 2.5% of that forever, as long as they're selling that art.
I get it. So now in Metaverse, I think I'm from my study, I've gotten to this point where when you create something and then you sell, you can put that condition, whereby, the person that bought it from you, let's say an art collection, and the person keep it. Let's say the person kept it for another, say, 5 years. Let's say the person bought it from you at 1 Ethereum, and the person that keeps it for another 5 years, and then now when it's selling that artwork, the value has gone up, and now he wants to sell. He's selling at, say, 1,000 Ethereum. You are entitled to some percentage. You can take like 2.5. It depends. It depends on how valuable that pieces, and then also depending on what you put on the smart contract, right? At inception.
It depends on what you put on the smart contract. Yes.
At inception, right?
At inception. So imagine all these guys, all these Van Gogh, all these Picasso, all those guys that have been great artists and have died.
Yeah.
Imagine that there was smart contracts at their time.
Wow.
Their generations would have been multi-billionaires.
Wow.
Wow. And you also don't have to worry about one wayward child that will go and waste all your inheritance that you give to him. Why? Because it is when there is a sale that the commission will be paid. It's a smart contract that is organizing everything. So they'll just be crediting your wallet with that amount. And if you hand over because remember, inheritance in the future now is no longer physical land, bank account. It's password, email, NFTs. That's inheritance in the future. Land in the metaverse. That's the future inheritance. So we need to position ourselves in such a way that we can take advantage of this.
Guys, so Dokun, quick one. Your course, is your course ready? Is like, when is it getting ready? When are you launching it?
I'm looking at middle of December.
Okay. All right. So backdoor, don't worry.
But I'll let you see everything first.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll talk there. I think both of us, we should. There's a way. Don't worry. I hope you don't have a marketing team. Don't worry. We'll talk about that later. So then, guys, like I said, like I always say in the group, the WhatsApp group that everybody is, like I always say about crypto, it's I always say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, and like I always say, try and hang around. There's a lot of value in crypto, and what Dokun is teaching now, to me, it's still looking like Arabic to an extent. And even if you are here and you don't understand, just make sure you stick around. Next week, probably on Sunday or next week, we have another class. And like I said, the cool course is coming up. If you're interested, I'm advising you, get on board. Get on board and start studying this thing. These things, the earlier you get on board, the better. And it's still pretty new. People that got on Bitcoin. I remember I was talking to somebody this morning, and we're talking about, both of us were exchanging. I used to sell Bitcoin. I also sell Bitcoin. In 2009, 2010, when they started telling us to come and buy Bitcoin, we say, what is this one? And I remember the first Bitcoin somebody sent me, they send it to a wallet. The guy asked me to get a wallet, so he sent it to wallet. I didn't understand the wallet, so I abandoned it because that wallet was too long. So because it looks too complicated. So I just abandoned it. So many years, I think 2013, was when I now go back to Bitcoin. So now I said that to say this metaverse thing is looking complicated right now. It's even to me, with my level of knowledge when it comes to blockchain, it's complicated. But then, because of my experience in 2013, 2011 about Bitcoin, I know now, right now, that no matter how complicated it is, even if I don't understand it, I'm already getting into it. So that in the next 5-10 years, you know, even if it's a plot of land that I bought or a piece of art that I bought on OpenSea, I can resell it for a lot of money. So please don't see it as complicated. Just like there's this quote that that is popular there, that they say, if somebody gives you an opportunity, if you don't understand it, don't say it's a trash. Just get on board. Just get on board. Michael Saylor, I was listening to this guy recently, Michael Saylor. This guy that what's the name of
buying all the Bitcoin.
That's buying all the now. His company is the largest owner of Bitcoin right now. You know,
wow.
but in 2017, 2016, 2015, he was calling Bitcoin scam. This guy called Bitcoin scam, called blockchain scam. So one day, he now said that this thing, the way the value of crypto is going up, if this thing is a scam, 5 years, 6 years, it has not crashed. I need to understand what it is. So he said he sat down, he started studying it. So and he said, wow, this thing makes sense. So he started now, it's a voice to reckon with in the blockchain industry. My point is, if you don't understand something, don't call it scam. Don't call it scam. And that's why most of us are going to school, so that you can sit down and study and understand something. Just try and sit down and understand it first before you call it scam. So I said that to say all this. We are still very early, especially with Metaverse. Metaverse is another aspect I don't want to use the word crypto, but it's another aspect, of decentralization, that the earlier you get on board, the better for you. So please, if you have any question, like I said, we'll just take 3 questions and call it a day. Next week we have another class in anticipation of Doku's course, so that when it launches, we can all get on board and we can all start understanding what this is. Doku, I also want to believe you create a WhatsApp group, right?
Well,
or probably a Telegram group. Now let me say why it's very important for you to have a community too, so that you act as a support for people that buy your course. And then within that group, let's assume you have a Telegram group, you will start seeing people that will start also assisting you. For example, in my WhatsApp group, you notice that sometimes I may not even post for days.
Yeah.
And then you have people like Abiola, you have people like Tosin, you have people like yourself, a lot of people that are posting, that are helping me. You get. They will keep the community busy. So, and then you also have time to do some other things. If you don't have a community like that, like a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, probably you are just taking messages in your email. You'll be the only one doing everything, or probably you will employ somebody, then you'll be paying them. You get.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying that to say this. Create a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, so that by the time you launch your group, anybody that buy your course, you add them to that group.
Okay.
So that when they have a question, they're asking, if you're not there, somebody that is experienced, that study your course, can answer them, so that you can keep the community going.
Okay.
Because this thing is a long journey. It's going to take a while. Even me, I've been studying this thing for months. I've not gotten to the level that I've gotten to. So, and I want to believe that your course is going to shorten my my learning curve. You get.
Yes.
So so I think if nobody has any question, probably we should call it a day. I don't know. So guys, if you have question and you want to ask the pool in the afternoon, no question, probably we should just call it a day. Probably the whole thing is still looking like Arabic to everybody. So
no, what I have done in the course is I've tried to make it as simple as possible, and also it will be like you're sitting over my shoulder and following the steps.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
But before we round up, let me just quickly share one video.
Okay.
Just yesterday, Adidas got into the metaverse.
Yes,
Basically,
I think. Sorry, I think before I think Nike has already they have already launched their own shoe now. They call it Kika, right?
yes,
Nike
yes,
Kick,
they've
right?
launched their own shoe. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But if you see the way Adidas launched their metaverse, it's crazy. Let me just quickly yes, I'll play the video in a bit. It's amazing because they used NFTs to launch it. You know.
Wow.
NFTs was what they used to launch the whole thing. I'm coming.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so let me start. You know, that's everything.
Wow, it's beautiful.
You know, that's everything, and all of those three characters that you're seeing there are actually NFTs.
Wow.
The last one is Bored Ape Yacht Club, and those ones are they're the ones almost every NFT project is following right now. You know, and what is it that they've done? They've created a community. In the next in our Sunday class, I'll be showing you some stuff about those guys. And what they've done is they've created a community whereby you can, if you want to meet the top 1% of people in the world that are doing stuff, maybe not the billionaires like that, but people like Steph Curry, people like Jimmy Fallon, all those kind of people, just buy a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. And the cheapest right now is 42 Ethereum. You know, but every single day people are buying it. Every single
sorry. Let me ask this question before you round up. There's a school of thought that said that, because I've been following up a lot of Metaverse, that said that they believe that, you know, the reason why and I'm, as a person also, I'm also of that school of thought that, you know, the reason why there's a lot of buzz around NFTs and metaverse right now is because of the price of Bitcoin, right? Okay. You know, because you know, in every bull season, if you have followed crypto, if you have been in the crypto space, you understand that in every bull season, we always have new innovations like this, in quotes, that peradventure might not be a new innovation in code though, but then it comes into limelight. You get what I'm saying? You know, for example, okay, let me give you a very good example. When Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $19,000 in 2018, between 2016 and 2018, the price of Bitcoin shot up from $1,000 to $19,000. Between that period, you have the emergence of decentralized finance, right? You know, and then when the price crashed, you know, most of all those projects went dead. I mean, practically they die. Most of all those projects then in 2018, all the DeFi. I mean, the buzz around DeFi in 2018 was just like the buzz around Metaverse today, the way it is. And I think just a couple of them are left now, like 2, 3. Now coming to Metaverse now, people are saying the same thing, that what we have been seeing in the past 12 years with Bitcoin is going to repeat itself. That by next year, or probably 2023, when we have when we now have the bear season, let's say Bitcoin at the top of this cycle, like we've been saying for a while, let's say Bitcoin is like, say, 120,000, 150,000, or $200,000, and the Bitcoin now crash, you know, during winter season, or during bear season, crashes to say 25,000, that you're going to see, you know, all this open sea all this protocol, that is running, that we are running Metaverse on crashes. Because of course, Ethereum majorly is the currency, right? In Metaverse. Now imagine Ethereum hit $10,000 at the peak of this cycle, and it crashes back down, probably during bear season to see around say $2,000 or $1,000. That means the value of all these metaverses will crash, right?
It will, yeah. Okay, so and this is why, like I said in the presentation, I said that in 2015, only 9 of the top 50 cryptos are still in existence.
Right.
And within that period, some of them died with all those bear and winter season. Now, this is the reason why, even in my presentation today, I said 80% of all these NFT projects will die. This is why you need to get into the ones that have utility and have,
and that's where I'm actually coming to that. Now, if I buy a land on a Metaverse protocol, probably on Solana, how do you now determine the one, like, you have answered my question partially. I also wanted to talk about, like, how do I know the one that will still stick around, when during winter season, when crypto, when probably when Ethereum prices crash?
Okay, so for instance, remember that on our group, a lot of people are. I love that group because it is full of researchers. There's some people on the group that whatever they say now, I don't spend time going to check it anymore because they have a track record. It's the same thing that we need to do. You need to find out beyond the metaverse. Who are the people behind this business? What is their track record? What have they achieved in their lives? And then this business, is this something people can pay for? If it's a business people can pay for, if it's a business that will sort out people's problems on the metaverse, you can be sure that even though there's winter, yes, everybody will, have to cover up because of the cold. But once there is spring again and summer, everybody, they will blossom more.
Okay. All right, cool.
That is why all these other projects that are just riding the backs of all these big ones, a lot of them will fall off.
Okay, cool. Okay, quickly, Abiola wants to say something too.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Bro, what's up?
I'm okay. Yeah, you are doing a very nice job. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say something to what Mr. Delela was saying initially. I would like us to view this metaverse from a different perspective. Metaverse should stand alone, should be different from cryptocurrency. You should have a different approach. Most people you are seeing are pumping a lot of money into this metaverse right now. It's not that they are not aware of the BS season, but most of them are holding those stuff as a store of value.
Yeah.
So it's a different word on its own. But the reason why it's like this, it is more pronounced in cryptocurrency is, we understand that if you have to create a token, it has to be solving one problem or the other. That is why it is much more pronounced in the cryptocurrency like that. And so most people are thinking like, okay, now let me give you for instance, he was saying something about centralized metaverse and all. To get to a stage, to get to an extent, I don't know with what Facebook is doing, they would want to centralize everything, and it wouldn't even work with crypto at all again. Crypto will have to live in the metaverse itself. Crypto will have to be a product in the meta. So if crypto is going to function, it will function alone. Am I communicating?
I agree.
From what I've seen so far, and it's not only crypto related. There are stocks too that are producing a lot of important gadgets that we need. I was saying it in the group yesterday that I have some that I have researched that I would like to drop, but I think I forgot. So you don't want to tell me that the bear will affect most of those stocks too. Because we understand. So
Bella, let me throw more light on what I just said. Probably you didn't. I understand your perspective. I understand what you're saying, but from if you want to talk about a community, let's say for example, Metaverse, like we are talking about now. You also want to understand that what drives what drives economy within any society is commerce, right? Commerce is number one. And what drives commerce is money, is currency, right?
Yeah.
Now you cannot separate the value of currency in a community from the way that community will behave. Talking about Metaverse right now. Now Ethereum is at $4,000 right now. If you buy a land, on say on an Ethereum, on OpenSea, on an Ethereum based Metaverse right now, at let's say you pay 5 Ethereum, 5 times 4, that's $20,000, right? Yeah. Now, when the value of it, let's say value of Ethereum now falls to $1,500, automatically the value of the land falls, right?
Yeah.
You agree with me, Abby?
Yeah.
So now that's the school of thought that I was trying to explain, that said, now this thing is hinges on also the value of crypto. So it's difficult for you to separate both of them. You get what I'm saying? So long as the value of exchange on the metaverse is crypto, it will, at least for now, I don't know, probably in the next 10 years, something else will change. But for now,
I was going to say something, but you said for now.
For now, the school of thought is, as long as people are using crypto to buy stuff on metaverse, of course, you cannot separate both of them. You get? I hope if you are with me, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Actually, both of you have very, very valid points.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with that for now, but in the future, it will be very different, because I mean the way we are living now is the same way we will live in that metaverse. So it will get to whereby we would be negotiating outside the box of, because this thing I bought it for 2 Ethereum, so I'm going to know. So we will be in a decentralized metaverse. You'll be able to say what you want to sell it for, and I'm very sure that no sell for loss, because you know the worth of what you bought already and what has been developed and the whole thing structured around it, and that will increase the value. So you can't tell me that because I bought it for 5 Ethereum and because Ethereum is now 2,000 now, I should sell it for no. I want to increase the price to be able to make more profits. Well, you already said for now, so let's just assume which we will have. Yeah, because it really do hurt me when I look at most of those stuff because of their price now. Because most of their price now, so I'm really open to that's why I said this in the group the other day. I need a serious beer, because we need to quickly position into all these stuff now.
Yeah,
very important.
If we actually get serious beer, so we can actually use, because we have knowledge now, we can use the edge to quickly position and buy some stuff, to even if we can't buy that much. So I would agree with what Mr. Adelola said, but in the nearest future it will be a different case, because Metabass stand alone.
All right. Okay. I think I have one more person that want to ask a question. Biola, I'm going to meet you now so that we will not have a call, right? Yeah. So Adeola, right? Adeola.
Yeah, please.
You can go ahead. Sharp on, quick.
All right. From all I've heard, the speakers really done justice to to enlighten someone like me, But then there's this just thing that kept coming as he was speaking. And as you mentioned too, it's a lot of the things are still like gibberish. Now we still don't really get deep into all of it. But then what I want to ask the speaker is, don't you think, because the way I just see all of these things from the little I've picked, from what you have explained and all of that, I see this whole virtual land thing and all of it. It's don't you think it's with all intangible assets, this is like a bubble that will eventually burst. Because you mentioned when you spoke about inheritances and all of that, that what will actually be passing on to, as our inheritance will be NFTs and all of that. And then, because with crypto, with Bitcoin especially, because it's the father of, it gave birth to all other, thing that came after. Yeah, because they are trying to push it as a kind of means of payments, kind of. Yeah, maybe that's we can still say, okay, no, this still has it has a leg. It has a more solid leg to stand on. We don't know what tomorrow will still do, but for now, I can still say, But now, when we now start talking about this metaverse, buying virtual lands, buying all of it, it's just, don't you think, like I said, it's just a bubble that will eventually burst. And with bubbles, you just don't know when.
Thank you. So that question is to you, so I would like you to answer.
Okay. So Bimbo, everything has a bubble. In fact, it's as if bubble must come before the real content now emerges. That's the way. If you look at the .com boom, everybody and their grandmother was buying a .com in the 2000s and setting up one business or the other, and investors' money were going into all of them. But all it took was one major serious economic problem, and then everybody just, they say that water finds its level. If you don't have if you're not genuinely serving people, if you're not genuinely offering a solution to people's problems, then you will be swept away in a bubble. But if you are, that same bubble will validate you.
True.
Do you understand? And that is why it is important for you to know exactly what you're doing, and then to invest in it and guard it with everything you have. But make sure that what you're putting your money into is something that is serving people. If it is serving people genuinely, if it is solving a problem, if it is giving people use value, that is much more than the cash value it is collecting. So for instance, if you buy something that, if you buy an umbrella, for instance, an umbrella is probably like 3K, but on a rainy day, and you switch on your umbrella and it covers you from the rain, that value will be more than 3K. If it's that kind of product you are investing your money in, then it will definitely pay back. And also, land on the metaverse is very limited. So there's already a scarcity. Like I said, on Decentraland, they bought almost everything. People are just reselling now. Some people are reselling parts of it and they're recouping their profit. And so until on Sunday, I'll be talking about how you can take advantage of. I said I was going to show one on Binance Smart Chain. I'll show it on Sunday. There are other things you can take advantage of that will help you to get early in, like Mr. Mao was saying, Abiola, from what he was saying, man, we wish that we had positioned earlier. There are newer projects that are coming on, but the way it is with newer projects, you really cannot vouch for it like an already established one. All these Decentraland and co, they're already established. We already know that these ones are not going anywhere. They've withstood some bubbles, they've withstood some winters. But the newer projects that are coming on that we can also get into, that will help us to maximize return on investment.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dogo. So guys, so I'll say my last word, let me just say this last before we call it a day, is that like this guy, the last question, the guy that has the last question, please, like that what I said before. Is looking gibberish, it's looking like Arabic, but at the same time, don't push it away that you don't understand it. Try and understand it. Try and participate. Don't be like me when I first said about Bitcoin. Like I said, what actually pisses me off about Bitcoin alone was because of that long address. That long Bitcoin address, that public address. That was all just piece. I say, what is this? My friend that told me about it just says like your account number. If somebody want to send you Bitcoin, give it to them. They'll say, I say my account number. How am I supposed to memorize this? That actually pissed me off. So this actually look complicated. Don't just wave it aside. because never can tell, you know, and this is not even about you never can tell. The next 5-10 years, you will be grateful that you got into it. I mean, look at Facebook. Facebook gets to Adidas, Sony, mention all the top dogs.
Disney,
You know,
all of
just
them,
mention,
Apple, all the entertainment
just mention
companies.
Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. The other day, Amazon, they are looking for people to start coding for them. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, everybody is getting into it. So that should tell you that this is the future. You know, this is the future. So don't wave it aside. You know, you never can tell the next 5-10 years, you know, probably one small NFT that you bought, you would have become big. Just sell one, you know, just end all your penury, you know, and all the troubles that somebody is going through. You know, so Dokun, thank you for the class. I'm grateful that you know that you order us. And then I'm hoping that
Thank you.
next week, you know, we'll continue, and then when your course also launch, be part of it so that we can all get into it and understand what is. I mean, even if you don't have money to start buying NFTs or buying land, the knowledge alone. And another aspect, I think on Sunday we have another class. I'm going to be talking about how you can sell what you know, your knowledge. You might not even have money. You might not even have money to start buying NFT or buying land, but the knowledge, you can package it. You can repackage and start selling for people. So when they are buying it, you can do your own course. You know, and so when you are selling, you start getting money to start buying NFT. You may not have money to buy now, but get the knowledge so that you can sell that knowledge to other people. Trust me, they will pay for it. Trust me. So thank you, everybody. This session is recorded. I'll try and put it on YouTube, and then I'll drop it on the group so that you can watch it over and over and over. Me, what I do is I watch videos over and over until I understand it. And video is the fastest way to understand stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Doku. Thank you.
Thank you,
I really appreciate
for coming. Thank you for the opportunity, Adeola.
Thank you. All right, guys. Good night. Though you can unmute yourself and say good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Thanks and good night.
Good night. That was a nice presentation.
Good night.
Thank you very much.